Now, in the meantime, former Conservative Prime Minister Brian Mulroney is speaking out this morning, and he says the first thing that O'Toole needs to do is mend fences within the party and to make sure that no factions, specifically supporters of the opponents he ran against, feel isolated.
It's one thing to win a leadership campaign, but it's pretty well worthless if you can't win an election. And you can only win an election when the party is entirely united. And that all stems from the leader.
Mr. Mulroney says he feels Erin O'Toole has the personality and the ability to make all of that happen. With more, I want to bring in Conservative strategist Andrew Brander. Andrew, good morning. Glad you could be with us. So are you surprised by the results of this race? Erin O'Toole, of course, now becoming the new leader of the party.
Not surprised. For as long as I've known Erin, I had the pleasure of meeting him for the first time, knocking on doors in Durham in the 2012 by-election that brought him to the House of Commons. And I could tell from that moment on that he's just a hard worker. When he's going after something, he sets his eyes on the prize, and he comes through and delivers on it. He's an exceptionally hard worker, so certainly not surprised with the result by any means last night.
What are the first 1, 2, or 3 challenges? Of course, we are on TV time here, but what are the first challenges that he has to take on?
He certainly has to. I wouldn't dismiss at all anything that former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney said there. Unity is very important. However, I do think that the party is exceptionally united. I think Erin is a unifying candidate who can bring those factions of the party together. So I would say that there's 3 other things if I was advising him on. One, he's got to get out there and really reintroduce himself to Canadians. The second bit, now that we know who the leader is, there's no reason why we can't start nominating candidates and getting ready. If he says we're going to be ready, and I believe we are, for an election at any time, then he's got to start the groundwork of rebuilding those riding associations and getting those ready. And the third piece, I'd say, he did exceptionally well in Quebec last night. But he's gonna have to still keep working every day on his French, and it's drastically improved throughout the campaign. But I think Conservatives are tired of conceding that province, and we wanna play. He did exceptionally well in Quebec last night. Very positive indicators for his prospects in a future election campaign.
Andrew, and let's talk a little bit more about that to round out our conversation this morning, because he did use the E word last night in his speech. He talked about an election, and of course that's something that we're thinking about now as well, given the current political situation, whatever you want to call it, with the Liberals and the We Charity situation. So do you think that this is going to be a leader that is going to be wanting to get to the polls sooner rather than later?
I think, Marcia, I think he said what he needed to say last night to serve notice, to say, we are going to be ready whenever that happens. I'm glad he did not commit to something immediately. I think we need to be responsible. I think Canadians want us to be responsible. They want us to look at the speech from the throne and make a determination based on that. There are real concerns about, families being able to afford to pay their bills, being able to have a job, being able to go to that job, and being able to drop off their kids so that they can go to that job. It would be pretty blatant for him to come out and sort of dismiss all that and say, yes, we need an election right now. So I'm really, really encouraged by the approach he's taking on this. We're gonna wait and see if he has something more to say about that today. But I'd anticipate that he's going to wait until we actually see what the Liberals are proposing, and if we can work with that, then great. And if not, then it will be time.
Yeah, we do want to hear from him. I know it was a late night, but we want to hear from Mr. O'Toole this morning.
I'm awake.
Yeah, if you've got any connections, please call in. Andrew Brander, Conservative strategist. Andrew, thanks so much for your time with us this morning.